Good morning, everyone. What's up, party people? I know this is a bit early, but usually we do it a little bit earlier. Anyway, today we have a fantastic guest. I'm not sure if you guys know who he is or not, but let's take a look real quick at his page. Give me 1 second here. Okay. This is who we will be talking to today. Bad Boy Slot Channel, slot videos, and more. We're going to go ahead and get him in the stream, and then we'll go from there. But let's welcome him in. I got to turn this back around. These settings on StreamYard are a little bit, they could make these a little bit more friendly. Okay. Good morning. How you doing, James?
Good morning, brother. Good morning. Good
So
morning
let me,
to everyone, to all the viewers, the slot channels, everybody in the community. Good morning.
good morning. Let's say good morning to Rockin' Rocco Slots is in the house. We have Stephen Hall, Gamblers Unknown, Chris and Lou. Did you get your Starbucks? Rocket Rocco says yes. What are you drinking, by the way? Are you drinking coffee or is it a little bit stronger?
Myself, I'm drinking coffee from home. Actually, we grind our own beans. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, we play around with a whole bunch of different types of coffee, like the Kona blends and stuff like that. So, and we really enjoy grinding it and having it at home. So used to do the Starbucks thing a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I know the feeling. I have it going all the time. There's one. It's too convenient for me because there's one like right down the street from us, and it's a nice walk with the dogs, and you know how that goes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Michael Roman is in the house. Let's see who else. I'm trying to give everybody a few minutes to get in here. We do know it's kind of early, but I noticed that background that you have there.
Yes.
Explain that to us. What is that?
Oh, everything here. This is, guys. This is my, when you see me disappear from YouTube and I'm not doing any of the slots. I probably do this 70 to 80% of my time. This is basically my toy collection, or a piece of the toy collection. This is what is known as a Funko Pop.
Oh,
And I've been collecting these for, oh God, 10 plus years now. And so this is just one of the rooms that I put together. All the shelves back here I pretty much built myself.
okay.
So it takes a lot of time with those kind of projects.
Okay. I'm trying to see who's in the chat real
Sure.
quick here. We got Lolo Slots. Chris and Lucy, good to see you, bad boys.
Good morning, Chris
Vegas
and Lou.
Vegas 777. Watch Kino Nation. Good morning, everyone. Just checking in for a few minutes, having my coffee and croissant. Good job. Gamblers Unknown and Lolo Slots. So you explain more about the games.
They're just basically toy figures. So when I first started YouTube, God, 10, 11, 12 plus years ago or something like that, my first video that I ever put up was of toys.
Okay.
And so the channel, as I just kind of played around with YouTube, the last 3 years, 4 years, kind of morphed into the casino play.
Okay.
And so, just like you, as this whole process goes on with your interviews, it was pretty much learning YouTube. And then I started, when I kind of branched out, I decided that a lot of this stuff right here in the background, I will be doing on a separate channel.
Okay.
Yeah, so this kind of overtook it after the casino area kind of overtook it when after my father had passed, and it was just something that he enjoyed doing. I would take him to the casino all the time towards the latter part,
Yeah.
and so then I just started posting casino videos more and more often.
Okay. So you're like me, a little bit of a geek when it comes to things that you like, toys and
Brother, I will always and forever be a kid at heart. I love
yeah,
this stuff. I know you collect rhinos. I know I seen
yeah,
a post with Jim, and he collects rhinos, so you share that passion. This is
yes.
just one of my other passions right here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start off. We got more people in the chat now. TL Slots, good morning. How you doing? Um, let's see, Gamblers Unknown. What's your most rare funky Funko?
Oh God, what's my most rare? I would have to say I'm a big Motu fan, and if you don't know what Motu is, that's pretty much Masters of the Universe. So back in the day when we had our cartoons, and there was He-Man, and there was stuff like that, I have I have what they call a Black Hood Disco Skeletor. That's probably my rarest piece that I have for the
Nice.
Funkos.
Okay, so Vegas 777 is new to my channel, and he wants to know who you are. Who's our guest? And in the beginning, I said who he was. This is Bad Boy Slot Channels, slot videos, and more. You could go over to his page. We'd appreciate it if when you do go over later to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. But we're going to get to know him a little bit more in depth right now. Okay, so tell us about your trip to Oklahoma.
The trip to Oklahoma was fantastic. I got the chance to meet uh, a lot of the slot channels. Chris and Lou was there. I met them for the first time. GC Slots, I met for the first time. Aaron's Slot Channel. My apologies to everybody. And the reason why you haven't seen much post on my channel or anything was that was also my brother's birthday. That was his birthday the day before. And the mistake we made, or I made, was that we hit Riverwind and we pulled an all-nighter. So the day of the group pool, I was running on too much alcohol and lack of sleep.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Madam Sunshine's in the house now. So your brother, PNN Slots, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, PNN Slots. Man, I met him in Vegas. You guys, I met both of you guys in Vegas, but you guys are a fun crowd to hang around with. I mean, I want to get together with you guys and just pound some beers, do some sake bombs, and
Yes.
have a good time. But I could only imagine how your trip to Oklahoma was because I know I got the opportunity and the pleasure to meet Chris and Lou Slots and Chumba Queen and all of them and go on a road trip with them, which was fantastic because
Yes.
you
Yes.
you know Chris and Lou, they both like to talk and Chumba Queen and so and then you had oh, I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. I
Mhm.
want everybody that's in the chat right now to remember that during the last part of this month, we are doing a subathon for Simon. It's a slot machine. Um, so if after this interview, go over to Simon's channel, subscribe to her channel. She makes emojis for most of the channels out there. She's a wonderful girl, and we're just trying to get her up above that. And I know you met her too. And
Absolutely.
thank you for putting that video, part of that video together. That's
Yes,
on Slot
I did
Sisters
I
page.
did my best for Slot Sister. I needed to reach back out to her, which is another amazing person in the slot community who helps a tremendous deal with new channels and bumping people out. I appreciate her so much. She took when I first met Slot Sister, which was at Yamava. It was part of a group pool with Naomi. And after everything, she was always attentive to everybody. She was make sure everybody had drinks. When everything was said and done, she took us all out to dinner. She is an absolutely amazing person, and I can't wait to spend some more time with her out at San Manuel or whatever casino we meet up at.
Yeah, definitely. And she was in Vegas with us, and you know how that went. Uh,
Yes,
yeah, but the one thing I could say about Slot Sister is she's selfless.
yes,
Somebody comes to her and she says, "Hey, I need help. How do you do this?" And it just puts her into overdrive where she jumps on it and starts putting their links out there and starts doing it. So, she's a good help to this whole community. And sometimes I think she puts herself above others a little bit too much because she just goes above and beyond.
She's
Thank you,
yeah,
Chris and
she's
Lou.
she posted a comment something about and this was her talking to me. She said, I wish I had the same kind of energy, I brought forth the same kind of energy. I'm like, she runs circles around me in energy. I would never be able to keep up with Slot Sister.
So Vegas 777 said he just subbed to your channel. Slots of
Thank
Bin
you.
is in the house. Madam Sunshine's in the house. TL Slots. I just have to break every couple of minutes and
Sure.
recognize the people that are joining this live here.
And everybody
So,
who was already on and everybody who just joined, good morning. I'm glad to be able to chat. I appreciate Rhino Man having me on the channel, talking and sharing some coffee together.
oh, definitely, definitely, it's fun. I mean, once I met you in person, I mean, that was it. I mean, we're like this now, so I do appreciate that. Um,
Thank you.
so, where'd you grow up?
Where did I grow up? I grew up in Stockton, California.
Okay.
And I was here probably the first 30 years of my life. And then I moved out to the Bay Area for a while. And I was out there for about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like a California boy myself. I've lived in San Diego, San Francisco, Alameda, um, Los Angeles. I ended up here in Palmdale after having popped out a few kids. I moved out here um, basically in 2003. And at that time, it was the perfect time to get out here because I was able to get out here and get into a nice 4-bedroom house and everything. And at that time, it was only 160 grand to get into a nice property right next to the high school. Kids could do soccer and all of that stuff. So I've been settled down here for a while. Kids, how many kids do you have? I know you have some teenagers, I believe.
Yes, I do. Well, we are a blended family, and I have 2 girls, and my wife has 3 boys. So together we have 5 kids.
Oh, you're pretty close to the Brady Bunch there,
Almost. I'm missing
huh?
one girl for the Brady Bunch. Yeah. So, and
So,
my oldest, for everybody who doesn't know, I've said this a couple of times. I'm going to be 51 this coming year.
okay,
So my daughter's 28. She'll be 29. She
okay,
graduated from Sac State and went on to get her master's, and she is basically into like family counseling and a therapist. And so, and her husband just recently, I had my first grandbaby, which I
fantastic.
posted on one of my videos recently, and they settled down and they bought a house out in Folsom. So they're starting their
Okay,
lives, doing their thing.
okay. So, how old are your other kids?
We have the second oldest boy is 21, and this will be his 4th year at UC Davis. So he'll be graduating, and he's into bioengineering. So
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
something that that was his love and passion. And then our second oldest boy, he just got back. He spent a year in Mississippi, and he's in the Air Force. So he went into the military right after graduating high school.
Oh, fantastic. Let's
Yeah.
see. Week 4 slots is in the house. Uh, Brian Delgado, spin the wheel. I have a wheel set up. That is for, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I have this morning show and then I have an evening show called Nightcap. And with Nightcap, I put some fun questions and stuff in the wheel for the guests to answer and you either drink or not drink. It's just a little fun game. And I'll get you on that show too. Um,
Absolutely.
uh, but yeah, that's what the wheel's about, Brian. So you have all of your kids, and which ones do you still have at home?
The 16 and 17-year-old, and they are juniors in high school right now.
Okay.
So they have this next year coming up. They'll be seniors, and then me and the wife will be empty nesters after that.
Oh, believe me, you won't be empty nesters because I found out, I have four kids. I have three older daughters and one son. And it got to the point, my son's up in San Francisco right now. He's at San Francisco State. He's a computer engineer. He'll be graduating this coming year. And my three daughters, one is in Louisiana. Her husband's in the military, Air Force. And then my youngest daughter, who was moved out, moved back in, and that was my point. And then my oldest daughter, she has a house here in Lancaster. However, I thought I was going to be an empty nester for a while. They moved out for a second, then I started converting everything to my rooms and everything else. And then they're like, "Hey, Dad, move back in," which was a blessing for me because my middle daughter, she has a daughter, which is my granddaughter. So for I would say 4 years she lived with me. So I got that precious time from the time she was two until the time she's five, um, just to have her here every day. So you know how that goes. The
Oh yeah,
grandkids are special.
yes.
Um, so that was fun. But you're not going to be an empty nester. They're always going to be coming home.
Oh yes, oh yes.
So with your kids, how did COVID hit them last year, not being able to go to school? Were they happy about that? Were they not happy about that?
No, that was a pretty tough situation. Just we're all social creatures, right? And it's hard when they start navigating that kind of stuff. I felt really bad for our second oldest boy, who right at that time he was graduating. He missed out on prom. He missed out on the actual graduation. It was like a virtual graduation where they had to take cars and just drive through and get their diplomas. So he got cheated out of that whole experience of really seeing, going to a prom and graduating. So it was tough. He muddled through it, but
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely know how that goes, and I had wondered about that with kids that were right around that same time frame of graduating, and then everything shutting down. That must have been a bummer.
yeah, it was tough. And I know every school district did something a little different. I think they were all pretty much the same. I just know right within that window of when he was doing it, that's the best that they could do was the virtual. And
Yeah,
so, we of course went back home and had a family gathering and, did some stuff. But, you know, the actual going to the, stadium or wherever they would hold the normal graduation was all out the window.
yeah, definitely. Let's recognize some more viewers that came in. We have MJ's True to You.
I met her
Um,
in Oklahoma. Good morning.
we have T-Town Gambler in the house. We have James Spitzer in the house. Brian Dillon, Slots of Ben says he's sub to you right now.
Great. Thank you
Um,
so much for the support.
week 4 slots, have coffee on me. Thank you so much, week 4. We really appreciate that. Slots of Ben, great interview going. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Um, you know, can you guys hear me? I hear a little bit of background
Yeah, I hear a
noise.
little bit of static. Is it my end, your end? I don't know.
I, I hope it goes away.
Okay.
Melly loves slots. Hello, Rhino Bad Boys. At the hospital right now. Just stopping in to say hello. I hope you're in the hospital working, not for any other reason, Melly. So she says hello, everyone. Hopefully she's working. Let's see here. You know what? I think this might be my feedback on my headphones. I'm gonna go ahead and take them off and put them back in. T-Town Gambler said it was great meeting you, talking to you, bad boy. Finally, let me see.
It was a pleasure, and it was a pleasure getting a chance. For those of you who don't know, uh, we had went recently to Oklahoma, and I got a chance again to meet a lot of the slot channels. Some of the ones I didn't mention earlier was T-Town, was MJ, Spin and Win Slots, It's a Slot Machine, Simon, and T-Town Gambler. We got a chance when we broke a little bit from when their group pool ended. They invited us up to their room. Casanova Slots is another really great husband and wife channel, and I met them in 2019 when I attended the G2E. I got the chance to meet Slot Traveler and Albert Slot Channel. If you guys are familiar, if not, subscribe to those channels. And T-Town shared some shots with us in the room, hosted by Casanova Slots right after their group pool. So that was really fun and amazing. John and Ashley are good people. I love those guys.
That's great. It's fun when you get to do stuff like that. So, speaking of that, James Spitzer is going to be our guest next week, and I had a question for you. If you're going to be coming down to SoCal, make it around February 11th and 12th, because we have something, or James Spitzer has a whole group of slot channels coming down to Harrah's SoCal, which is one of my home casinos here. And it's going to be a lot of slotty by nature. Just their numbers are amazing, all the channels that are coming out. So,
yeah, slotty by nature, actually, I got to meet her for the first time when I met you at NG's birthday bash.
Yes, yes. Chris and Lou's going to be there. Chumba is going to be there. So it's going to be a big thing. So if you're down here around February 11th and 12th, I think it is, come on down.
Absolutely, I will do my best. I believe February we were locking down a window because the last 2 years have been, we were in this pandemic, and we were supposed to be out in the Philippines. I really want to make it out there. I have family out there. My wife has family out there. And I really wanted to do some international casinos out there. I wanted to show you guys like some slot play and how some of those casinos looked out in the Philippines. So we were
nice.
I don't know what's going to happen. I won't spend that kind of money on flying out, and then there's a 1 week or 2 week restriction that you got to be on lockdown. We don't know at this point. You've seen the mask mandates and all this stuff that's happening, the new variant with COVID. So everything is just kind of, we'll play it by ear and see what happens. But if we don't, then I would love to be out there with you guys.
Definitely. We'd love to have you out here. Gamblers Unknown says Southern California is the slot channel capital of the world. This is really bugging me. I'm going to take these out, and hopefully my speaker will be loud enough. I'm going to test that out because this is driving me crazy right now.
Okay.
Let me see here. Can you guys hear me okay? Can't hear me, huh? Wow. Okay.
I'm going to try something as well. I'm going to see if I can turn. I don't know if it's my end. Let me see.
There we go. I think that's better. I'll just keep one in. Nope. Still. Technical.
I think we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Nope. What the heck? What the heck? Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can.
No. Okay, perfect. We're going to leave it like this and go from there. At least I don't have that background noise killing everything. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry
can
about
hear.
that, guys. But it's still giving me that noise. Hang in, guys. I really appreciate everybody doing this.
Mhm.
Let's see, settings, audio. We'll go AirPods and I'll just deal with it. Okay, guys, sorry. Chumba Queen is in the house. Triple M Slots is in the house.
Good morning, Chumba. Good morning, Triple
Oh,
M.
did I miss anything here? Okay, so how was growing up for you?
It was tough. It was tough.
I
My dad was pretty. He was strict towards the latter part. And when he was with the grandkids and everything, he was a totally different person. But yeah, my father was strict. I look back on everything, was super glad my parents were the way they were, because bad boys. There's a reason why I have that nickname, but that's way back in the past. And that just followed me. Not that I'm a hellraiser or a risk taker or anything like that. It's just I had my moments.
So you have how many siblings?
I have uh let's see, a total of 5. I have 2 brothers, and then I have a stepsister and a stepbrother. So there's a total of 5 of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He had to be strict then.
Yeah, yeah. He was pretty tough. I mean, like, I remember growing up, my dad was my dad was only like 5 foot. He wasn't very tall or anything like that, but I just remember, I couldn't really have friends come over. I would have uh if I rode like my bike outside or something like that, it had to be like right in front of the house. I couldn't go like down the street or over to a friend's house or stuff like that. But again, when I look back on it, I'm so glad that they were the way they were, because there was during the time I grew up, there was a lot of like gangs were everywhere. There was a lot of stuff to put you on that path and put you in some serious trouble.
Okay.
So
That's good. That's good that he kept you that way. But then when the grandbabies came around, he's like, "Oh, go ahead, do
he
whatever
was
you
a
want."
yeah, the grandbabies came around and he was a softie after that, you know. So
That's good. That's good. So I know we see all the toys in the background, and that's how you started your channel.
mhm.
But how did you get into gambling?
Oh God, I've been gambling ever since 18. Ever
Oh,
since
nice.
18, because as most of you may know, and if you don't know, whenever you go to like the tribal casinos, one in my local area, when I first started, you were allowed to go in when you were 18 and gamble. That
They're
that
still
local casino had just happened to be Jackson Rancheria. And so I would go and gamble, and it didn't matter, which was perfect. It changed later when it all had to do with the liquor license. So once they applied and had the liquor license, and then a lot of complaints from individuals who felt 18 years old was just too immature because they'd have some issues with some of the younger crowd. So then they nixed it a few years after that, and then it just became 21 and older.
Yeah, we still have one down here. Morongo, I believe, is 18 and over
Oh, is
for
it?
us out here.
So they
Yeah,
don't serve alcohol on the floor then, right?
they do. They
They
do.
do. I wonder how they got. Well, I guess like with the tribal lands, they don't have to follow certain, you know, uh, rules and whatnot.
Yeah, so you've been in the casino since 18. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your channel. What is the goal for your channel? Because I know you got 3,300 some odd subs.
But my goal for my channel is really just going on and sharing some of my experiences with it. One of the other reasons, like this past the previous weekend when I was in Oklahoma, I didn't go live. I didn't do anything. I didn't want to step over any channels. There was a lot of action going on. Everybody had time slots. I was there at that moment in time to mingle, to get to know people, to meet everybody, and just share any of my experiences or knowledge. Like I showed with shared with Jackpot Joe, the Joby stand that I use.
Okay.
You know, when I do recording, and then I had I had done some poker chips with my channel. I was hoping to have them before I went to that event, but with the shipping and the pandemic,
Yeah.
they came like 2 weeks after, you know, or actually, I should say a week after, because I just recently got them.
Yeah.
So
James.
anybody who wanted that kind of, you know, sharing that kind of information, because some people have come and asked me when I was in the casino, how to start YouTube, and so I do my best to try to share and encourage everybody. And so really, my channel is just it's just my fun and passion of my experiences inside the casino.
Okay. Where do you plan on taking it?
You know, I don't know. It's just because, again, I don't feel like I don't have any channel memberships at this point. I don't have any of that kind of stuff because if I take it down that route, I need to stay committed, and I want to give my 110%. But brother, I have a few years ago when me and my wife were talking about retirement, we said, you know, you gotta stop and smell the roses. And I have so many passions. Like you can see in the back, this takes a lot of time building these shelves. I just attended an event in San Francisco, and when I was out in Oklahoma, I was right after the casinos. I was I was toy hopping. I was shopping in all the different places. When I was in Los Angeles, I was at the Funko headquarters. I was at Frank and Son Collectible. And just like what you do here, 2022, I plan on sharing those experiences because I have a separate channel, and I talked to the owner of Fugitive Toys, and he'll be my first guest when I do an interview such as this,
Okay.
and then talk about his store and his history and everything like that. So I got a lot of projects in the works. I just got to find the time to be able to mesh it all together.
Yeah, I know how that goes. James Spitzer, going back to the 18 and over casinos, James Spitzer says there's at least 11 casinos in the San Diego area and a bunch of card rooms that are 18 and over.
Oh wow!
Um, Slot Savvy, Pamela K is in the house. Let's see, we haven't went through this in a minute.
Hi,
Uh,
Slot Savvy. We
so,
met.
you
We
know,
actually got a chance to meet her at NG's Bash as well.
I was just getting ready to say, yes, we did. And that was fantastic. And she put some of those videos up, which came out really great for that. Uh, so going back to James Spitzer having this event in February, January 20th, we are going to be in Vegas, and that's Chumba Queen, Chris and Lou, Slot Sister, Lolo Slots. I believe there's a lot of channels that are going, and they've just started to put together this live live-a-thon, basically, where the channels are going to be live one right after another, right after another, right after another. So it's going to be we're going to try and get as many slot channels in there as possible.
Oh, it's like they're stacking event. They're stacking the lives.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll probably start at like 6 in the morning and go to 6 in the morning, hopefully.
I believe it.
So that would be a cool event. If anybody out there that's watching right now wants to participate, either email me or message me on Facebook. We'll try and get you guys into that
Okay.
if we
I
can.
thought when I was talking to Chris, so it's in Vegas. I thought it was going to be at Yamava. It's in Vegas.
Yeah, I believe Vegas. We're
Okay.
all going to be
Okay.
in Vegas that weekend.
Okay. Okay.
And then Chris and Lou want to know, Bad Boys, are you coming?
Absolutely, because I owe Chris and Lou. Chris and Lou, they have. This is another slot channel that has so much energy. I could tell right away when I met them, and I apologize to them because I didn't get to hang with them as much as I would have liked to. But those two are amazing. I love their energy, and just Lou has just got that smile. It's
Yes.
how do you say it? It's heartwarming and attracting.
Yeah. It just their whole demeanor, both of them.
Yes.
They're great. They are absolutely. Spin and Win Slots is in the house. Thank you for coming in.
Spin and Win
Ben,
Slots was also another channel that I didn't get to spend too much time with. They're new to the community, and I got a chance to briefly mingle with them. We were, of course, following a lot of the slot channels, Casanova Slots, who was doing the group pool, and every other channel thereafter. So Spin and Win Slots was also part of that group.
that's awesome. So Slots of Ben, if you're interested in coming in January, let us know. Um, yeah, so that'll just be one of those really fun times. The energy and the vibe when you have multiple slot channels around is just incredible.
It's amazing. I loved it. And if I didn't answer the question prior to that, I am 99.9% sure that we will make it there. So that was to Chris and Lou, who was asking, will I be there?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw on your channel that your wife just hit another grand, second one of 2021.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. She's got the amazing luck. I think I was talking to Mainly Love Slots too. And some other slot channel, Doghouse Slots, where he was saying something. She hit two. I haven't even hit one yet. And I commented, I said, my wife said the same thing. I was a gambler far before she was. And in that introduction to the video, I was talking about how she said the same thing. She didn't really care for the casinos back in the day. She put $20 in, she'd lose $20, and she's like, that's it for me. And she'd go sit in the lounge, she'd be on her phone, and then little by little she'd see some of my jackpots and my wins. It kind of got the bug in her, and now she's smashing some of those wins. I'm gonna hand the channel over to her soon.
Hey, you're gonna have to, because if she's hitting those grand, I haven't even hit a grand. I mean, I've been doing it. So my channel came up in March. I think it was March 1st. But I've been gambling for years, like you. I'm 54 years old right now, and I've been gambling since about 18. And my first gambling experience was at a little place known as San Manuel. At the time, it was one red brick building, and basically it was only bingo. So my
Yes.
uh, my grandmother would always come back. She would take the bus, these buses that bust them over to San Manuel, and she would play bingo. She would come back. I hit 10 grand. I hit 15 grand. So she took me to play bingo with her. And right around that time, they started having slots in there. And you could play Pai Gow or some of the other Asian games, card games. So I would start doing that. And then it just started expanding and expanding. So now it's Yamava with a hotel and everything.
And it's like the largest casino in Southern California, if not all of California, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I
and it's
believe so.
funny, like you said, Jackson Rancheria, the casino that I spoke of earlier, was the same thing: concrete floor, tin roof, bingo hall, back in the day, and how they kind of grew and became what they are now. It's amazing.
So Slatsabin says grandmas are the worst gambler influencers. Mine had me playing poker at 8 years old. We know how that goes, Slatsabin. Definitely. So yeah, it's amazing how these places have grown. What is your favorite casino to gamble at?
Oh my God. My favorite casino to gamble at. That's tough. I would say currently right now, if I'm talking about a local, it would definitely be Hard Rock. I'm a Hard Rock fan. And the reason why is Hard Rock, um, there's just too many perks that they overshadow some of the other casinos.
Okay.
Their comp is fabulous. Um, how you can build up, the fact that they're as long as you go in and you sign like a influencer form, they security will not hassle you, because you actually go through marketing. For those channels who are in the area and they don't know, you can get in contact with marketing. And then once you feel, it doesn't matter if they know you, how long they know. I've done many there. Every time I go in, I still got to fill out the form. It lets security know that you're on the floor, and then the eye in the sky. Nobody will hassle you. And then they got something like what Thunderstrike, where it's a random jackpot that must go by 250,000.
Okay.
And then they do cars and everything. So as far as my local, and this is the only casino, I probably shouldn't say this because San Manuel used to do it. Grayton in Rohnert Park used to do this, and they had different ways of being able to do it. But Hard Rock is the only casino that I know of that you can actually go into a restaurant, use your comps, and pay for everything: food, alcohol, and tips.
Wow.
Correct
Wow.
me, anybody in the chat, if you know of a casino that does that. Now I know some will, do most of those, but they don't usually cover alcohol. They don't usually cover gratuity.
No.
They do
Not
that.
that I know.
San Manuel, I believe back in the day used to. I don't know about it now. And then Rohnert Park had a way around that because, with liquor license and a lot of stuff, it kind of handcuffs what they're allowed to do. Like if you go to, um, uh, I'll say Great in Rohnert Park, you can order a beer in their Italian restaurant, but you can't bring it outside onto the floor
Okay.
because the liquor license are different.
Okay.
At Hard Rock, it doesn't matter what restaurant you eat in. If you go into their noodle house or you go into the steakhouse, you order beer or wine. If you're done with your meal and you still got your drink, you can walk right out on the floor and take it with you, no problem.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's awesome.
that's why I love Hard Rock. If I was to say the best casino that I have been to, there's too many. It's very hard, but Inn of the Mountain Gods in New Mexico has got to be a personal favorite of mine.
Okay.
And that is just because on the property, they have that amazing lake. If you watch one of my videos, my wife was gambling. I was out there killing trout.
Nice. Nice. So Pamela K says we talked about it already. She just wants you to recap what's everything behind you.
Oh, behind me is basically a piece of my toy collection. This is just one of my rooms where I built shelves, and I've collected what these are called are Funko Pops. And Pamela, I'm a big kid at heart. I will forever and always be. And I just love collecting toys. That is another amazing community, by the way, just like the slot community.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Gambler Unknown says his grandmother had him playing poker for dimes at age 5. Hunting camp turned into hated it, just went for poker. Let's see.
Gamblers Unknown, here's to grandma.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what do you do when you're not slots? I know it takes a lot of time, but what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? My whole entire career has been based in the healthcare industry. Both me and my wife, basically. And so I started out at the age of 15. Before you could really technically work, you couldn't necessarily work until you were 16, and you had to get a work permit. But my father was able to get me in, and I started as a stock person in a hospital. And I would just go in and do their stock rooms and sweep and clean up. And then as time went on, and I was still in high school at the time, I continued there and kind of navigated. I was working in the kitchen, and I navigated my way through some of the different positions. Um, and then the company that I worked for, as time went on, I was with them for 10 years. I had worked as a prep, and then I had worked as a cook, and then after that, the administrator of the facility just came and asked me. He said, "Hey, what do you plan on doing? Are you going to pursue your career in after you graduate?" And then he said, "I'll tell you what. If you're ever interested in administration, we'll pay for your schooling. We'll pay for your schooling. You turn around and you pay for it up front. But if you can maintain a B average or better, bring us back your receipts and the grades, and we'll cover all your expenses." And so at that time, I went through and got certified and got my administrative certificate, and then branched out. And I've always stayed in the healthcare industry.
Nice, nice. So that healthcare has been good to you.
It's been very, very good. It's a blessing. My wife the same way. Her tenure has been in healthcare, and yeah, what, 30 years now. My wife just got home. She just popped in right now. For those who don't know, my wife is a registered nurse, and so
Nice.
she has worked every gambit of ICU to critical care to you name it. She's done basically a mirror image of me, with her being in the nursing side and the medical
Okay.
side, and me being in the administrative side.
Wow, that's another thing we have in common. I've been in the healthcare industry now for going on 20 years. Um, I started basically working for a blood donor facility company, and then that sort of no experience, just working in the quality assurance department, doing paperwork, and that sort of built into a manager of a platelet facility. And then I was recruited by Cedar Sinai to go work over there, and I sort of got in at the right time because I had some computer skills, which a lot of the older people they don't have too much. So um, I was able to make a niche for myself at Cedars by joining different projects. And at one point, the computer system we were updating had 18 people in it as a project. By the time it was finished, there was only two of us that had all of that knowledge. So, I was able to get that knowledge. Then I went to Children's Hospital, and I was working both Children's Hospital and Cedars for almost 10 years. Now I'm still at Cedars with the wealth of knowledge of the computer systems for the donor room. So that's sort of how I got in that same niche there.
I love it. I
So,
love it. And you know what? Just quickly, thank you so much again for having me on the channel. This is one of the reasons why I especially love this, because for everyone out there, the slot channels that we get to meet, we don't get to spend that much time. And these interviews shed light, open up a little bit more, allow people to ask questions and get to know us on a whole different level. So thank you so much.
yeah, definitely. It just strengthens the friendship that we're building online. And when we meet, it's just that much better.
Absolutely.
So, if anybody has any questions in the chat, please put them out now. I'm sorry if I miss anything. If you super chat, I'll definitely be able to see them. But my phone's very tiny, so I'm trying to go through those. And I know one of the comments is going to be get a new pair of headphones. But hey, I definitely I definitely will work on that this week.
It's
Um,
brother, it's a learning process too. So
you know,
I'm gonna be picking your brain on the whole live stream for a StreamYard. Once we meet up, because we are gonna meet up. I know you have plans to come out here, and I got you when you come out here in Northern California. So
oh,
we'll,
definitely.
yeah.
Most definitely I will. But the whole learning experience, I'm still learning. And I have a notebook here full of ideas that I jot down every day. And I look at my channel and what I'm doing with the slots and these interviews, and I have some really special stuff coming up, because I want to help out other channels. So there's a lot of learning curves that, even though I'm a small channel, I could help you guys out just by you learning from my mistakes. So
Absolutely, absolutely. That's my advice to all the channels, uh, because nobody knows everything, and it's great to be able to get together, collaborate, become a sponge, pick certain stuff up, share that same knowledge, pass it forward to everyone. Like I said, when I'm live, I always try to help people when they come up to me in the casino. Um, I absolutely love. It's not like I don't have time. If I'm playing, I'll stop playing and I'll chat with somebody for a while, just to get them on the road, help them get started. And you got to start somewhere. We all do. So
definitely. Sorry, Chumba. I know work gets in the way sometimes. I hate when that happens.
right.
Um, how long have you been married to your wife?
Oh God, how long now, babe? She's actually home and she's sitting here enjoying her coffee, listening to the interview. How long now, babe?
We're married.
Yeah.
7. We're together 10.
Yeah.
11.
It's going on 8.
Yeah.
And we've been together for a little over 11 years.
Okay, fantastic. So I've noticed this. This is my observation from different channels, like Chris and Lou, for instance.
Mhm.
A lot of the couple channels that play together and do that seem to do really well. Do you plan on incorporating you guys having a date night videos come out where you guys play together?
I'm not a video person.
Yeah, see, I would love to. In one of my other videos, I kind of talked about it. She doesn't really care for the limelight. She
Okay.
she she loves going in and doing her thing. Matter of fact, truth be told, when we hit the casino, like, we very rarely see each other until it's either time to go or she wins an amazing jackpot like a grand and she calls me to rub it in or something. But she likes doing her thing because, like, when you go in, you have primarily games that you like to play, whether it's Dragon Link or Buffalo, and she has her games, and we don't necessarily play the same type. So she'll go off, I'll go off. Do I have plans? Probably not, because she doesn't even really care to. She's not too much of a camera person. She loves just to do her thing, and I let her do it, and I do mine.
That's I'm going to get to James's question in a minute here, but the same thing. When myself and my girlfriend go into the casino, it's like great. She goes, we usually start
Yeah.
we usually start at the bar together, but then she's like, okay, go ahead, get out of here. You know, and to get to your story, I've never hit a grand, but we were at Cosmo. I think this was in July, and I'm playing on my own side of the casino. I'm playing Ultimate Firelink, and I was there with my girlfriend and two buddies, and I was like maybe just down to the other side. I couldn't see them, but I could hear them. And then all of a sudden, I hear my buddy say, "Oh my God, you just hit the grand!" And then I get the call on my phone. I'm running over. I left $100 ticket in the machine. She was playing American Gods. 75 cents was the bet, and she moved it up to 150. She only had 40 bucks in the machine, and she hit 16 grand.
Nice, nice.
It was the first time
Wow,
I won the grand.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I called you at 3 o'clock and said, I want to go play.
Yeah, yeah.
and that's usually when it happens. I don't know what it is, but I got to get some of that luck. So, James Spitcher's question: who or what gave you the idea? Can I do this slot channel on top of your collecting and all your work life?
Uh, to kind of say that again.
Okay, so who or what gave you the idea? Can I do this slot channel on top of your collecting and work life? So basically, what gave you the idea for the slot channel on top of your collections and everything else?
Yeah, basically it was a combination of a few things. And it's don't believe me when I say, and I might not have to say this, but it's a grind. It's a grind to be able to faithfully sit in front of a laptop, do it. I probably have to, learn how to do it via mobile. I don't know how much quality that you give up when you're not sitting down and really editing it on a laptop and whatnot. But it was a combination of my wife and then my father passing. And then I already had the channel together. I was already posting some of those things just to share my love and passion of the toys with other people in that community. And then it kind of morphed into that. And then I started putting more and more of my casino trips and videos and stuff like that. So it was a combination of my wife and my father and his love, because he loved Buffalo Gold. Matter of fact, stay tuned on the channel, because I'm actually taking a car that I have. It's a Chrysler 300. It's a 2006, but it had sat in my driveway for like 7 years. It was my daily driver, and I'm turning it into my concept car. So that's another project I've been working on, and it's going to be dedicated to him. It's going to be all about Buffalo.
Oh,
And
nice.
so when I drive around, when I actually go to the casinos and everything, you will get a chance. So if I'm ever there and you come out, you can take pictures. I'm really going to trick this car out. So the car's nickname is Bill, because it will be Buffalo Bill. And you'll see
Nice.
the big giant gold buffalo head on the hood of the car.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
coming.
awesome.
It's coming.
I can't wait for that. Gamblers Unknown says if I put my wife on camera, I'll be single next day.
Right? Right? That's so true.
So that's going to be something that's going to be interesting if you trick that car out that way.
Yeah, I figured, it was another form of marketing. I'm driving all over the place. I'm constantly on the road. So when you see me disappear for a while, I'm probably doing events, and I'm doing this. I don't want to give up on my passion of certain things, because there's not enough time in the day to do everything, right?
At
And if
all.
we're just focusing on this one, like the slot channel, I gotta know. Here's another thing. Once it becomes uh, unenjoyable, I don't want to do it anymore. And so that's why I got me for myself. If everybody is whatever their goal is for YouTube, and you want to do your channel and you want to reach a certain number or amount of views, there is a grind, and stay with it. For me, I'm happy to get to meet everybody, be part of this community, and just go at my own pace, whatever that pace that is. Just because once it becomes too much work and not enjoyable, I won't want to do it anymore, and I don't want to burn myself out in doing that.
So I get that point 100%. Slot Savvy Pamela K says, Rhino Man, I love what you're doing for us. You are sincere and caring. I'm so glad I got to meet both of you guys in person. I'm honored. Happy holidays to you both. Thank you for that $20 super chat, Pamela. I really appreciate that. That helps out so much.
Thank you so much, Pamela. It was a pleasure meeting you as well.
So the grind. Let 2 points. I heard you mention something in there about editing and stuff early on. What I've learned, and it's helped me out so much, and I'm still learning, so I got to redo my intros and exit videos and stuff like that. However, what I found that works well for me is I'll sit down at a machine and I'll start recording, whether I start recording at the time I get a bonus or whether I put money in. Whenever I start recording, I don't stop until I'm done with that machine. And if I'm done with that machine at 8 minutes, that's one video. I'm not going to edit more stuff into there. It just saves me so much time in the back end because, hey, it's one video. I put an intro and an exit on there. Bam, I got it. So I've been fortunate a lot to sit on a machine, start at one bonus, and then carry that through to like 26 minutes or 20 minutes. You know how hard that is.
Oh,
But
yes.
I don't like editing 2, 3, 4 videos in. With that said, what I have coming up, I have a couple of tutorial videos that I'm doing, basically what you didn't know about your own slot channel. And going back through videos that I started back in March, I have videos that, I've hit a major on, but it's only had 16 views because I did a crappy thumbnail, no description, title was messed up. So I'm going to take those videos and I'm going to put a couple of those together, repurpose the thumbnail, do a little narrating in there, and then drop it back on just to see if it picks up in the algorithm now and redoes something. But that's going to be another playlist on my channel. I have so many ideas for how to keep within the same niche and expand on what I'm doing besides just the slot channels. I know everybody loves those, but there's just so much you could do on a daily basis.
Yes, I get a lot of questions too. If you see some of my videos that I done, you'll see my outro where the garden is in the background. That's another project and passion that has taken so much of my time. I built the garden that you see in some of those videos from the ground up, like scratch. And
Yes.
Unfortunately, the time, the weather, I would have done this outside because normally we'll sit down outside and we'll have our coffee out in the garden, but it's just, it was dark and it's cold, and and I spent so much time. I have so much footage for that I can do a garden channel.
There you go.
It's insane. I probably have, I'm not even joking, a year's worth of casino footage, garden footage, toy footage. It's just sitting on some of my external hard drives that I haven't even put together yet because I'm just always on the go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it becomes a grind. Let's see. Gamblers Unknown says, if YouTube isn't enjoyable, it's not worth it. Do what you love and don't worry about keeping up with other channels or what other channels are doing. That's so true.
Absolutely. That it is. And to each his own, because everybody has their own pace, everybody has their own goals. I'm content, I'm happy. I don't want to shortchange my viewers or subscribers. So I will go in, but once it becomes, like I said, once it becomes overwhelming to try to keep up with work and family, because I don't shortchange any of those. That's important to me. I got to spend that time with those. I love YouTube. I love the community. I love the casinos. I love doing all this stuff. But for me personally, I can't shortchange some of those other things that I care about. It's just
Exactly.
yeah.
Let's see. Billy F and Slots is in the house. Good
Morning,
morning, Billy.
Billy.
TL's in the house. We know Slot Savvy Pamela K's in the house. Hot Hand Lucky Slots is in the house. I'm definitely going to get them on the show pretty soon here.
Hot Hand
So
Lucky Slots, I got a chance to meet in Oklahoma as well. What's going on, brother?
very, very cool guy there. Um, it's this has become a passion for me, and I know it has for you too. It's amazing just to be able to meet so many people. Gamblers Unknown. I mean, I chat with him almost every morning, whether it's just to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. But me and him chat every morning. Chris and Lou Slots, Chumba Queen, Slot Sister. It's become more than I could have ever expected right now, and I plan on keeping this growing and learning about other slot channels, learning about not only slot channels. I'm going to have other channels in here as well, cooking shows, whatever my passions are. I want to find out about those people that are doing it. So um, I'm just making it just that, so you could sort of see what the grind is all about on the back
Absolutely.
end.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, because it's interesting. It's interesting to get to know everybody on a different level. We all in this community, of course, the slot community, we all have the same passion. you talked about this earlier, so I think that's why we all gravitate towards each other. We can spend countless hours together having a good time, because if somebody really isn't a casino person, you're not gonna mesh with them as much as you are with everybody who's, in the community.
That common interest and everything. It
Yeah, and
definitely
getting
keeps.
to know everybody. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
definitely. So, what are your plans for 2022? Is there any place you want to go? I know you mentioned the Philippines,
Yes.
but is there any place that you absolutely want to go to or you haven't been?
Everywhere. Everywhere. And I say that not jokingly, but of course it's almost impossible, but truth be told, the week before I flew out to Oklahoma, we had planned a 2-week trip through Oregon back into Washington. So I had a whole itinerary. If it had not been for that storm, then we would have hit a lot of the casinos. I love some of the casinos going up through Oregon, Seven Feathers. I love Spirit Mountain, which was just to Chinook Winds, which is the casino on the beach. And then we were going to go up into Washington and visit Tulalip and 3 other casinos. So I missed out on that opportunity, but that's just some of the things we like to plan when we hit our road trips.
That's awesome. Make it just a fun time. When I drove my daughter to Louisiana, man, that was a drive from California to Louisiana, and I had planned it. I'm going to go up to 40. I'm going to stop at this casino, that casino, and I had it planned. However, the time we drove her up, it was during COVID. You had to live in the area in order to go into the casinos. They wouldn't let you do that, so it sort of blew my whole trip out of the water.
A
Straight
lot of
up
the
slots is
casinos. Yeah. Route
yes,
66, into the Mountain Gods. A lot of those casinos up there weren't having people from out of town, especially
yeah,
California.
yeah, definitely. I know what it feels like to be discriminated against now. So, um, straight up slots is in the house. Good morning, straight up.
Good morning.
Okay, so I've had you on for an hour and 7 minutes. What questions do you have for me, or is there any advice you could give to people out there that are watching? Or
Gosh, just advice. Just if anybody has any questions, they know exactly where to come. Rhino Man, if myself included, Slot Sister, there's a wealth of knowledge in the community. There is certainly individuals out there that will help you if you are stuck, or need some direction and which way to go. Simple stuff. Some people have come up to me and even asked me, hey, where do you I'd like to start my channel, and I see everybody with the bracelets. Where would you have the bracelets done? Or a form of marketing, like I did poker chips. Some people do lanyards. Some people they have different marketing for their channels. Reach out to individuals who are in the slot community. Exactly. See? Yeah, there you
actually,
go.
these things. One of my viewers sent
Is
these
that a button?
buttons to me. Yeah, it's a pin.
Oh, okay,
It's a
got you.
button,
Babe.
and I didn't even know, but a viewer sent these to me. She grabbed my logo off um, my site, and then she sent them to me. Sent sent me a bag of them.
Can you bring me my bag of my bag? It's on the upstairs. It's my poker chips. Can you bring
So
those?
James Spitzer says my favorite part about doing this is the people. It feels like I know you. I consider you all my friends, literally friends. Winning and losing happens to all of us, but relationships what we connection with, and that's so
Absolutely,
true.
absolutely. Cheers to that. So true.
So speaking of winning and losing, when you go to the casino, do you have a budget that you go with? And do you always stick to that budget? One, and this is another part of this question. And how do you deal with a big loss?
Do I go with the budget? Yes, always. And some budgets are different. Sometimes depending on where I go. If I'm in my local, if I could go with $300 to $500 because I pair it with my free play. Sometimes I have $100 in free play. Sometimes I've had two. If you watched any of my videos in the past, you'll see that I had $900 of free play at San Manuel. I had 1,000 at GSR. So it all depends why and what for and how I'm going to pair that with what I'm going to bring.
Okay.
Do I stay within my budget? Yes, I do. Very important for me. If I go in and I say it's 500, it's 500. You just got to play that way. Um, and I call it smart money too. When you win, I have a goal that I always do. Even if I go in with 500, once I make $1,000, whenever I have $1,000, that's coming home with me. Period.
Uh,
If
okay.
I turn around and I win, let's say I win $1,900,
Okay.
I got to play that 900. I'll keep the 1,000, but I'll play the 900. Now, if I go over that and I win 2,000, I have 2,300. I'm playing the 300, but I'm going home with that 2,000.
That's awesome. I
That's
like
my
the upper limit.
that's me personally.
Okay, so I'm going to tell a quick story, and this video is going to be coming up. I don't know if it's going to be later this week or whatnot. I go with the budget, but I have a secondary budget as well. So, like, for instance, this one time I was going to Yamava, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to take $300 plus my slot play." And on the drive up, that stretch up to the casino, I recorded a little video saying, "Okay, here's the plan. Going in with 300, gonna cash out and bring home 2 grand." So, and I said what I was gonna play. I'm gonna hit Dragon Link first. After Dragon Link, I'm gonna hit Lightning Link, this machine, Dragon Riches, and then I'm gonna end it with Dollar Storm. I'm gonna turn the 300 on Dragon Link into 500, then move to like I broke it all down. But the budget on that time was 300. My backup budget was 200. I was allowing myself to pull 200 more out in order to do that. Anyway, I walked in. 300 was lost right away on Dragon Link. I still had my free play. Dropped it into Lightning Link, lost it, and then I was headed towards the door. I said, "Well, let me do the other 200." Put the other 200 in Dollar Storm. Ended up walking out of there with $2,300.
Nice.
So, that whole video, I recorded that video going up there, and then I recorded the exit video coming out. So,
Nice.
anyway, I have that put together. That'll be on one of my videos coming up soon. But
Great.
it's just the budget thing.
Yes, yes, yes. And how do I deal with losses? I don't. Of course, it sucks to lose, but if you go up with a budget that you're prepared to lose, and you play with what you can afford to lose, winning is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Really, if anybody's got a chance, I did a Wizard of Oz video. I don't know if you've got a chance to see it. I played around with it. I had fun. I tried to mesh there's no place like home. So I start out the video talking about the casino and saying, like, I absolutely love the atmosphere, the people, the alcohol, everything. And then I kind of pan out and I say, there's no place like home. And it meshes in with Dorothy saying there's no place like home. And then we go right into the video.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as handling the loss, I'm prepared. Whatever I go up there with, if I lose a 500, I knew that's what I was gonna gamble.
That's good. That's absolutely, that takes care of whole that whole thing.
But believe
But
me, that's years. That's a veteran status, right? Because back in
yeah,
the day, I didn't. So once you learn, you kind of learn the ropes, and then you kind of conform to how your style of play is. My I have a variety of style because sometimes I'll low roll. I love those wins on the low roll. 75-cent bet and you hit like 2 grand. That's
yeah.
amazing. Those are the ones that impress me the most. 60 cents and you can hit 1 grand. Hats off to you, because that's amazing. But I'll go and I'll do high limit too. I'll do 25, 40, $50 bets. Not all the time, but I'll swing them because it's part of the gamble.
Exactly. Hothead Lucky Slot says, I'm the opposite. I usually go all in with all my winnings, then come home with empty pockets. That happens.
No, come on. We all know that. That's what I talk about, learning the ropes. That's the veteran status of knowing what not to do anymore.
Yeah.
At least for me, that's how I kind of transformed my play into, because I remember those times. I remember the feeling of leaving the casino with absolutely no money or more money that you intended to spend. So when you lost the money you were willing to gamble, that's one thing. But when you pull out an additional 500 or 1,000 and you lose that, and you go home with that feeling like, oh my God, what did I just do? I never want to have that feeling. I had that
Well,
back in the day. I never want to have that feeling.
I know exactly what you mean, but there's been times where I've hit some big jackpots, like a Friday night, 2:30 in the morning, and I've hit some massive, massive wins, drinking and everything. Oh, let me just go over to the high limit area. Let me put some money in there and do it, and then waking up in the morning and having 200 bucks after being up 3 grand. Not a good feeling at all. But and that's part of the problem of one, drinking and gambling. you know
Listen, this is so important. I'm glad you touched on that. I absolutely love being in the casino and not drinking. That's a travesty, because
yeah.
I love a good drink. I love that feeling. I love to unwind and then hit the slots on the casino floor. But I learned something about myself. I'm a very competitive person by nature. And back in the day, when I even look back on some of my videos that I've done in the past, and they're almost cringeworthy. And I say that because I look at how I was. And if you've met me and you know me and you hung out with me, in some of my videos, I almost turn into angry gambler, right? I turn into this, and I know it's the alcohol, and you'll even hear me, and it has nothing to do with the money, but it has everything to do with um, the play, putting it in there. And you know what my nemesis is really is Buffalo. Buffalo, as much as I play it, we all try to capture the 15 heads. I've been fortunate to be able to do it several times, but in my previous videos, you'll hear me like when I had too much, I don't do it anymore. I'll drink to a certain point, but I know when I've had enough, because then it's almost like it becomes personal with the slot machine and I'm trying to capture certain stuff. It's just ridiculous.
It is. Straight Up Slot says he calls that the drive of shame, leaving with nothing. So true, Straight Up Slot.
We've
So
all
true.
been there. We've all been there, me included. I'm not going to lie and say, because we all know the reality of gambling, right? So when you go up and you can set boundaries for yourself and be able to set a limit, go up with your budget, and if you lose and then go home, but you're comfortable with that loss. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse than pulling more money out or taking or overextending yourself, because yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a great feeling.
No, not at all. But back to your point, I love drinking. If you see in a lot of my videos, I'll pop a Corona up there and say, "Look at my sponsor, Corona," so on and so forth. Not a sponsor yet, but hey, Corona, if you're listening. Anyway, so there's
That's
a
right,
point like
Corona, sponsor this guy.
there's a point in my videos, and my girlfriend tells me that every time at the casino, um, there's a point where I turn into Tim. So Tim is the fun-loving drunk Tom. So once I turn into Tim, I'm talking to everybody. I'm just having a good time and taking shots at the bar, whatever. But she doesn't like being around Tim too much because he's loud and obnoxious in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see in my videos, I turn into Tim sometimes. You'll hear me yelling and talking, and it's a fun time, and that's what I enjoy. I go and I enjoy it. When I talk about the big losses, it's times like that when you're up like 3 grand. You went with the money that you went to spend, but you're up like 3 grand, and then by the end of the weekend, it's all gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had that happen a couple of times.
You know, the big reason why I love shopping. And when I say I love shopping, you can see behind me. So I have a passion, of course, for this kind of stuff. And uh, if I overextend myself and I look back and said, you know what, I could have turned around and bought 10 or 20 of these. So it keeps me grounded. That's why I'm able to, when I go to the casino, if I go up for 300 and I told you I win and I got my 1,000 mark, I go back and I'll turn around and spend that weekend shopping. This past Saturday, um, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was today. No, okay. So I'm sorry. We're Monday. It was Saturday. I attended that event in San Francisco, and I spent 4 hours there, and I did nothing but shopping. And it was some of the casino wins recently that allowed me to do some of that extra shopping.
Exactly. Well, that's a good thing, especially if you went like on a Friday night, go shopping in the morning, Saturday, spend a lot of it there. Melly Loves Slot says I have that happen to me a lot of time, or all the time. When I go to my car, I start thinking, what the hell did I just do? I had this much, now I have nothing driving home. Um,
It's the hook, mainly. It's the hook. It's real, and we've all been there. We've all done it, and I know sometimes it's hard too. But the harder part is turning around, taking that money that you've lost, pulling out more, and now chasing that money. And the casinos know that. The
yeah,
casinos know that. I mean, even with the whales, right? Somebody wins like a tremendous amount of money. They find whatever way they do the comps. They give you the perks. They give you that incentive to stay. And then once you win those jackpots, especially when you first walk into the casino and you spent the first $40 or $60, you hit a hand pay and you're like, oh my God, I just did that with $40 or $60. What can I do with this 2,000 that I have now? And that's the trick. Can you leave with that?
true, true. That is so true. She says, and then my hubby David probably says, "No, you're addicted." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Well, all of us are addicted, aren't we, gambling? Yeah, I think we all have a little bit of addictive personalities that are doing this. Let me see what else is in here. It's not about the money. It's about the what you can actually hit. Can you actually hit the best spend possible? So I understand what Gamblers Unknown is saying there. It's really not about the money. You're trying to get that bigger hit than you got last time, um, and the money.
Isn't that what they say about drugs, right?
Yeah,
You're always
yeah.
chasing that next high, and you never, and it's for whatever reason, right? You can never, that first hit. I'll tell you something about my first hit and what got me hooked. I walked into the casino, which was Jackson Rancheria. This is back in the day. I used to have in my office, I'll have to show you sometime. So when we do that nightcap, I'll show you all. I don't know if anybody else is like me. You see, I'm a collector. I collected all the big souvenir checks that every single casino has ever offered. A lot of them don't do it anymore. They'll just let you take a picture, like Hard Rock will let you take a picture with the guitar, or they'll have the big dry erase board of a souvenir check, and they sign your name, and then when it's done, you take a picture, and then it erases on for the next person. But Jackson Rancheria back in the day, I can litter a wall behind me of all the souvenir checks. My biggest jackpot from there was a little over 13,000, and I had walked into the casino. I had spent several hours there. The next day was actually a work day. I I turned around. I lost three. No, actually, I think I lost like $500 that night. I didn't have any more money per se to my name except for $10. It was $13, a 10 and three ones. Unlucky number. That's why in my BDBY13JR that you see,
Yeah.
13 for a lot of people is unlucky. But for that 13 that day, it turned 13. It was just weird the way it happened because it was $13,000 plus. And I
Wow.
walked up to a bank of machines, and there was 10 of them on the wall. And it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I had lost. I was on my way out of the casino, and I looked at it, and I said, "Wow, I wonder. That's pretty high. I wonder how much it is to play for the jackpot." And at this time, it was the Keno machines that they were called Pot of Gold. I think San Manuel still is the only casino that probably has some on their lower level floor. I walked up to it, and I was just checking to see, and I said, "Wow, you could play $1 for the jackpot." So I put a $10 in there, and then I said, "Oh, what the heck? I'll just put the 13." I put it up to the dollar bet, so that means I only had 13 spins, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, "Oh my God, I lost $500. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta work at 8 o'clock. What am I still doing here? I couldn't even leave at that time, right? I only had $13. I still want to gamble." So I put it inside there, and I picked the numbers, and I picked a 10 spot. And I turned around, and I was just doing all that thinking, pushing the button. It had the auto feature, but I was just pushing the button, thinking. And out of those 10, I picked a corner machine. The casino was almost completely empty, except there was a husband and wife that was sitting off to the side playing some different machines. I had hit, I think as I got down to like, $8 or $7, I hit $23. So I keep thinking to myself, just other stuff. I got to leave soon. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bells and whistles started going off, just like that, right? And I'm not thinking anything of it because I only put $13 in the machine, right? So I turned around to the husband and wife that was playing, and I was looking at them, and they were looking at me, and they said, "What did you hit?" And I said, "I didn't hit anything." And I looked up, and the entire bank of machines, all the lights on all 10 were flashing. And if anybody hit a jackpot on a Keno machine, you knew that the machine knew it was going to pay you before it even told you. So all the lights were going off, all the bells were going off, and then all of a sudden the balls were dropping, and a window came up. It said jackpot alert, call attendant, and you see all 10 of the balls light up red behind the scene. And
Wow.
I am sitting there stunned. My heart is in my throat, and I told him, "I think I just won the jackpot," right? And so it's still not sinking in. Everything's going on. And a gentleman comes from around the corner, and he goes, "What did you win?" And I said, I think I just won $13,000. And he goes, "Can I borrow $20?" Like that, right? And
Uh,
I said, "Brother, listen, if you go find an attendant, I'll give you $20." So he takes off. I'm sitting there. The people are congratulating me. Then an attendant comes. She starts talking to me. She asks me, she's, doing her thing. She has to verify with the eye in the sky. And then as we're waiting, she goes, "Congratulations." She goes, "How much did you put in the machine?" And I said, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you. I put $13 in the machine." She goes, "That's the way it happens." Right. And then within a matter of 15 minutes, she goes, "Hang on, we're going to verify this." They did. They came.
okay.
Are you there? Sorry, I had a phone
Yeah,
call
yeah, we
coming in.
got you. No
Yeah.
problem.
And so they came, and like I said, within that time frame of 15 minutes, she said, "How would you like your money?" And I said, "I'll take the 13,000 in a, I mean, yeah, 13,000 in a check, and whatever it was, I think it was 700. I'll take that in cash." And that was my story for my first big jackpot with a souvenir check with
That's awesome.
$13. That was insane. That's what
That's
hooked me.
yeah.
I
That
couldn't do
that
that.
is
I couldn't do that with the 500 I came up with.
wow. That's amazing. It just goes to show you never know. One spin will do it for you.
And everybody can who's part of the live stream can say it in the comments. Most of my massive wins, majority of them, even my wife's 2 grands, have been where she's put 100 or less in the machine. It's not.
Yeah.
I've never won where I've sat there and have dumped $300, $400, $500. None of my massive jackpots that I've got, I've ever done that. It's within the first 100, if not $60.
It's always unexpected, and when you know. Let's
Yeah.
see. Galaventure Slot says sometimes we go to the casino, leave losing, sit in the car. Went back into the casino with 100 more. Then either way, we're compounding the effect. Let's see. Oh, I missed a couple of things here.
Tom, while you're reading that real quick, I'm going to grab my charger cord. I don't want this to die right now. I'll be right
Okay,
back.
perfect. Okay. So Hot Hand Lucky Luke says, no, I can't leave. I can't leave with that. Want more. That's my problem leaving the casino because I fill up the coffers. Yes, and then somebody else will come and empty them out. We know the feeling. That's why Chumba always says more, more, more.
I heard you say something about Chumba, more, more, more.
Yeah, she's always asking for more, more, more. James Spitzer said, I wasn't always that way. I've been true to my bankroll in the 20s and 30 minutes. Go to the ATM machine. Know it's pain. Go through that. Honey, let's get some more. It's a sour drive home. We've all been there.
You know what? You know what, Tom? You know what's tough when you do go with like I go with my wife on occasion. There's times where I walk in and everybody can talk about their experience with this as well. I'd walk in, we're both playing, and right away I hit, let's say, a really nice win, $1,000 or more, or I hit a hand pay. 15 minutes into the casino. How do people feel about that? Do you feel like, well, I've only been here for 15 minutes, or do you call it a wrap and say, I came here because you know the reality, if you stay longer, what
Yeah.
potentially can happen? So do people feel like they're cheated out of time when they win too quick and they have to stay?
Let us know in the comments. Can you go through some of the comments and some of these questions real quick here? I'm not sure if you can, but I'll be right back. I have to check something right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. Yeah, because I'm on my phone, so the wording is so small for me. Chris and Lou, I'm so sorry. Let me see. Sometimes we go into the casino, leave losing. Oops. Wait.
Uh-oh, did we lose James? Let's see if we could get him back in here. Okay, guys. I think we lost him. He was trying to get into the chat, but we lost him. Oh, here we go. We got him back. What happened, bud?
I don't know. I was reading a comment, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of my charger cord's in, so I know it's not the power. I was reading Chris and Lou's last comment that was there. Sometimes we go into the casino, leave losing, sat in the car, and went back in and took out 100 more than either won or lost. Oh, you read that already. It's a compounding effect.
Okay, guys, we've been on an hour and 34 minutes, and I could stay on here another 45, 50, rest of the day just shooting the shit with you. I really appreciate you taking the time, joining us for morning coffee. Look forward to hanging out with you, hopefully in Vegas in January. If not then, February in SoCal. If I get up there before that, which I'm pretty sure I will, we'll hang out up there. I want to
Absolutely.
thank everybody in the chat. Really appreciate you guys coming in. Next week's guest, we have James Spitzer, Cash Out. Can't wait for that. This guy has a lot. Let's see, hold on. James Spitzer has a lot of stuff going on right now. I think he's sponsored now by Circa, which is amazing. Let's see. Hot Hand Lucky Luke says, I feel cheated of time, especially if you're staying there 3 or 4 days. What are you going to do if you've booked so many nights? Well, hopefully the nights are comped and you could just bounce. You know, get out of there with money. But next week's show, we have James Spitzer Cash Out. I think he's sponsored by Circa now. We'll find out more about that. We'll find out more about his event that he's having in February. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on his channel that's coming out. I look forward to more stuff from your channel. Thursday is we're going to do a Rhino Man nightcap. I don't know which guest I'm having on yet, but hopefully I'll have a guest lined up. Straight Up Slots, if you're not doing anything on Thursday and you want to come on to the show and tell us a little bit about what's going on with your channel, it's nightcap, and I am open to the times and everything. We could switch it around, see if we could find a good time that fits for you. Hot Hand Lucky Luke's, same thing. Invitations open to anybody and everybody out there. It's not just about, you know, really big slot channels or whatnot. It's about getting to know you and
Who's in the
introducing
community?
you. Yeah, who's in the community. So anyway, thank you guys. Peace out. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure getting to chat and share some coffee with you.